All right, here we are, the Virtual Open Week Day 2. Welcome to my live attendees and welcome to you watching the replay as well. So let's dive straight into it. Today is going to be an info session where you're going to find out how the Primalista license works, all the bread and butter details, essentially, cheesy pun intended. And as we go, I will keep letting people in. So here's what to expect today. I'm going to explain to you exactly how it works. I'm going to let you know how you can save $1,500 on your Primalista membership. I'm going to tell you about all the bonuses that are currently on offer, especially the baking starter kit bonus, which is my favorite bonus, and also about the brand new Primalista mentor program, which is kicking off on September the 14th. You will get a free seat in this amazing mentorship program. Who doesn't need an extra little bit of support and a hug at the moment, right? So definitely I'm going to run through a little bit about what's involved with that and what that is and what that's worth and all of that. And I'm also going to have a question and answer session. So you'll have the opportunity to ask me your questions. Just pop them in the chat as we go through. So as a question pops up, just find the chat bubble and pop your question in there, and I promise I'll get around to all of them. All right. And stay tuned till the end because I have got a yummy surprise for one live lucky attendee. I really appreciate that you took time out of your day today to be here. Like I really am so grateful. So I'm going to give you a prize at the end for being here. And major congratulations to Claudia, who was our day one prize winner. Such a bonus, so much fun. So let's have a recap on day one. How did you find day one? Let me know in the chat. So day one was looking at basically your why, getting really clear on your values and what you're moving away from and what you're moving toward. So it's a really interesting thing. Everybody's kind of got this line, no matter what it is in your life, not just the Primalista license, but no matter what it is in your life, we've all got this line where we're kind of like, we're comfortable. It's like our, like if you were to like jump on the scales and you get this number and you're like, yeah, that's okay. I'm not fat. But if you were to go a little bit above that, you'd be like, or down there, you'd be like, oh no, I'm too fat. And you'd be then motivated to move away from what you didn't want. So you'd push back through until you got to a certain point and you were moving away from what you didn't want. And then you just start to relax and you don't care what you're eating and or what the calories are in it or whatever, or your exercise program, right? So it's really important. Same as starting a business. We don't want to just be having things we're moving away from. Like, I've got to get away from that bitchy woman in the workplace that I don't want to be with anymore. That's cool. We want to have things we're moving away from. So you leave that job, you start your own business, and then you just start going back down again because there's no big vision, big why that's pulling you forward. What we're looking to achieve is a wicked life in the now, like an amazing life that we love, and an incredible vision for the future pulling us forward. So just let those questions that I asked yesterday ruminate. You'll start, you'll be like vacuuming or cleaning up or brushing your teeth or out for your walk. And you'll start to be thinking about those questions because they're questions that we want to keep revisiting and keep asking ourselves those questions. So I hope you enjoyed yesterday. Don't be shy. Do you know how to find the chat group? You're going to have to talk to me. Otherwise, it's just me talking to a computer screen here, which is a bit lonely just quietly. So I'm just going to say hello in the chat. There we go. And I'm also going to share a link. Never works on here, my links. Primal alternative.com. All right. So what action am I looking for you to take? I want you to book your Primalista call now. Okay. So you might be thinking, oh, I'm just going to wait till the end of the virtual open week and see if this is for me. Don't do that because we have got very limited call times. So there's myself and Manda and Ash and Rosie, who are on the Primalista calls team. So I'm the founder of Primal Alternative, and they are real life Primalistas. So they're brilliant to ask your questions too, and really good to see if you're a good fit for Primal Alternative. and they'll know if the license can help with what you're looking to do. So on the call, I'm going to share with you soon how you can save $500. But if you want to save $1,500, they will explain to you on the call how you can do that. Now, that's something that we only would make available for if it's a good fit for both parties. We'll also answer all your questions, and if it's a good fit, offer you the opportunity to join us. The link there, primalalternative.com/call, will take you to our online diary. So you can book a time. We've got weekend times, we've got evening times in your time zone, so no confusion there. And there'll be a couple of questions to answer to help us prepare for the call. And I really want you to take action and book something in the next couple of weeks. You'll only be able to book in the next couple of weeks in our schedule anyway. And I really want you to do that now, because I want you to have the opportunity to be part of the Primalista Mentor Program, which starts on September the 14th. So who am I? Well, my name is Helen Marshall. I am but you can call me H. Everyone calls me H, even my dad. And I'm the founder of Primal Alternative. And I just love this picture. It's hilarious. Isn't it hilarious? Looks like I just stepped out of the salon. And we live in Albany in Western Australia, which is on the south coast of WA. I'm married to this bearded bloke here, Mike the Chippy. He's a Kiwi bro. And these are our children, Sam, who is 15, and Millie, who is 12. So look at us living our dream life. We live on 100 acres. We've got chickens, cats, guinea pigs, veggie patch, an orchard. We're into biodynamic farming, cooking amazing food, spending time together as a family. We love, me and my husband love to spend time together, having a chat and having a champers in the spa. I like to do body pump workouts, yoga. So that's kind of a little bit about who I am. And I also like to have a bit of a laugh and keep it real, as you can see by this picture. Right? So I would say what I pride myself on is being having not taken life too seriously, and being fun and as upfront and honest as possible. So I hope that gave you a laugh today. Thank you, Claudia. So a little bit more about me in my intro. I'm a certified primal health coach. I've got over 30 years experience in the health and wellness industry, which started off with teaching aerobics at the age of 14. I used to host a podcast on the Wellness Couch, and I've been a guest on many, many podcasts and spoken at key wellness events across the country. I've had my own food as medicine health transformation, and it's quite often the really bad times of your life that are the things that you have this breakdown before the breakthrough. And as much as it was horrible to be in this food crisis, and it's a work in progress, I wouldn't say I'm completely cured. It's definitely a lot better, but it's still ongoing, right? You don't just fix. It's not just like you're healthy and then that's it. It's something you need to keep working at with everything, right? And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about that health journey in a while. Just move me over there. So the Primalista, the Primal Alternative brand, has been established for 8 years, and the license is in its 6th year. So it's good to know that it's been going for a while. We've ironed out the kinks, and we're continually improving. And this model has been successfully replicated in 4 countries across the world. We have 33 streamlined products across 4 different product lines and over 400 stockists. And this is the world's leading bake from home business. There's nothing else like this out there. And this model has helped over 250 people get started in their own primal alternative business. So let's explore the range. So sometimes people think of us as bread, but yes, we do bread, but it's probably only about 20% of what we offer. So if you haven't experienced the brand and what we have to offer yet, you'll find ready-made breads, pizza bases and wraps, cookies and jellies. We also have 3 different types of granola, which is just the easiest breakfast ever. I took some chocolate granola to footy the other morning with some coconut yogurt and some organic blueberries, and very smugly sat and ate that in the stands in the sunshine while everyone else was getting Vegemite scrolls from Woolies. It was so much nicer. We also have a range of packet mixes. So this is a really good way to minimize food waste for customers of ours who want to have that bake your own experience, but they don't want to go out and charge their pantry with lots of super expensive ingredients that they're only going to use half a cup full of, right? So those packet mixes are really good. They're also really awesome for Primalistas because the Primalistas make the packet mixes, right? This is quite a misconception. People think they'll come from me, but the Primalistas make everything from scratch themselves. And the packet mixes are just the dry ingredients put into a bag, no baking required, sealed, and then you've got the same profit margin and a much longer shelf life. Genius, right? We also have a whole food range. So that just means that Primalistas can sell on their ingredients at a markup. So you buy your almond meal, put it in a bag and sell it on. So a little bit like a co-op. So everything in our range, we've got a big offering. I think we pretty much cover every craving, right? Apart from ice cream, but we've got some good ice cream recipes on the blog. And so it really does cover everything, your breakfast cereal, pizza night, fajitas, wraps, bread, toast, everything, but it's very streamlined. And so that means it uses the same ingredients over and over again. Recipes are very similar. And that is key to not wanting to be completely frazzled and burnt out as a producer. So let's look at the Primal Alternative Why, or the Primal Alternative Plan. Look, consumers have lost faith in big supermarket brands. And Play MR found that 59% of people believe that natural products meet their dietary requirements much better than regular supermarket food. You don't say. The food in the supermarket, apart from if you shop the perimeter, which is where you'll get your fresh fruit and veg and dairy products, meat, that kind of thing. But the stuff in the middle shelves, they don't care if it's good for your health. All they care about is profit and shelf life. So that's why the majority of the foods in the supermarket middle aisles are composed predominantly of 3 ingredients: wheat, dairy, and sugar. How depressing. And 45% of people said the range of natural food options in the supermarket is insufficient. I agree too. Do you agree? Let me know in the chat. I know when I go down the health food aisle in the supermarket, I'm like, what is all this crap in plastic? So we are the antidote to that. And I hear on call after call how people just are finding that there's no convenient, real healthy options out there to just grab and go. There just isn't, right? So Primal Alternative is a well-loved brand. We are so proud and honored and humbled and delighted that people like Quirky Cooking, Low Tox Life, Helen Padarin, Jordan Pye, Steph Lowe, Additive Free Kids, Changing Habits, Deborah Murtagh, Kim Morrison, Pete Evans are just such big fans of what we're doing. And Joe says, I'm such a big fan of Primal Alternative. It's such a great feeling to know that your work nourishes you, your family, and your community. And we love that Primal Alternative offer this opportunity. So Joe's been talking about Primal Alternative in her emails and her newsletters lately, which is so cool. So let me know if you've seen Primal Alternative in Joe's emails. So Claudia says, yes, product range is terrible. The gluten-free items are full of numbers and seed oils. They are. And also a lot of starches, soy, canola, just best avoided for optimal health. So let's hear from our friend Alex Stewart.
Hi, my name's Alex Stewart, founder of Low Tox Life and author of a book by the same name. I just want to say a couple of little things about the beautiful community of bakers and cooks that Helen has created through Primal Alternative. So many parents that I speak to, their sticking point is the overwhelm of trying to make everything from scratch. and then the expense of charging their pantries full of all the different ingredients that they need just to make a simple loaf of bread that is highly nourishing and nutrient dense. So for me, Primal Alternative meets that need for the busy modern parents who have a few things going on. You know, maybe you're living in a city and maybe you're both working, whatever that might be. It just means you can actually still get incredible food for your family without having to make it all yourself, which even I love a good outsource. I'm absolutely comfortable to admit that. And then the other thing is when I'm traveling around doing talking tours. Just last week in Perth, I had for the second time the wonderful Tanya from Primal Alternative. She was our caterer of choice there as our Primal Alternative, or Primalistas, all around Australia. And it's just so wonderful to be able to bring the low tox community into a space, to have a beautiful chat about all the things that I want to support in terms of their goals, but to also know that the food we're offering is really good food, whereas often it used to be really hard and you'd end up with like the Nescafe and the Arnott's tin at the council kind of library, and it would just be so embarrassing and off-brand. So I really love now being able to tap into the local Primalista in that part of Australia and know that we're going to get great food for our events.
How cool's that? All right, so that is enough about me. What about you? So you may have already done this yesterday in the virtual open week day one, but if you missed that or you just want to have a little recap, let me know in the chat. So you're going to have to find the chat group. Yes, you are. Don't leave me hanging. I want to know your why. Why have you turned up this week? Why have you turned up today? Is it one, because you've lost the passion for your 9 to 5 and you need a change? Maybe you could do that job stood on your head, but it just doesn't light you up anymore. Maybe you've got a family or elderly parents and want to make some extra money from home doing something that you're already doing anyway. A lot of people I speak to, they're in the kitchen all the time anyway. So find the chat group and just put the numbers that are relevant to you in there. Is it because you'd like to build a side hustle doing something you enjoy? Is it because you've always been interested in becoming your own boss? Or is it because you want to help others reclaim their health with food? Or is it a bit of all of the above? All right, so Kirsty is saying that she's lost the passion for a 9 to 5 and she'd like to build a side hustle doing something she enjoys. Brilliant. And what a great time to build a side hustle, right? All of the above. Brilliant. Okay. Claudia says, all of them except my boys are now young adults at uni with huge appetites. I love feeding my children. It's the most satisfying thing, isn't it? I'm such a feeder. And we know we've got a lot of Italian people in the group, I noticed as well, which is so good because it's just love, isn't it? It's just love language, feeding people, especially with really nutrient dense foods. I know when my 15-year-old son brings his mates around, I just want to feed them all up. It's so cool. I love it. So what's stopping you from moving ahead at the moment or in the past? Is it money constraints, time constraints, lack of know-how, or is it family duties or current job restraints, or my favorite, fear, self-doubt, or lack of confidence, or a new one, uncertainty in the world right now? So let me know again in the chat. Brilliant. All right. So while you're doing that, I'm going to let you know who this is for. So I am looking for mostly women. We've had a couple of blokes along the way, but this seems to be a mostly female orientated business model who they love real food and health. They already spend a lot of time in the kitchen. It's their happy place. They really have a deep desire to support other people to be healthy. So you see this like is the moving towards energy. That's what you want to do. It's part of your legacy, part of your big vision. They're looking for a new way of working that isn't the old bricks and mortar 9 to 5 outdated paradigm. Let's face it, it was created for men. It really doesn't suit women. And it's just a bit of a hamster wheel. Is it because you're looking for something to be passionate about again? Oh, and it's okay to have some doubts and fears. So if you think I'm all of that, but I'm scared of moving forward, or think my kitchen's wrong, or my oven's too small, or I've got a dog and a goldfish, and it's okay to have all of those things, right? Which is really good. Who's this not for? All right, you can just switch off your TV now and move on if you're not looking to start your own business. If you're happy in your current job, if you know exactly what you want to do, you just haven't done it yet. Or if you're a trailblazer who just wants to go and figure this out for themselves, take courses, you could do a business course, you could go and do a catering qualification and then build a brand from there yourself. So just a caveat, if you are happy in your current job, that's all right. Maybe you want to have the safety of your salary and you're happy in your job. And I'm going to show you a case study of a Primalista who is just that in a little while. But maybe you want to have something in the mix there that's really just, really something that you're really aligned with. Does that make sense? Hopefully. All right. I'm just going to turn up my little heater because it's cold here. Oh, that's better. All right. So the whole Primal Alternative brand started with my health crisis. So I was, probably like you, a victim of the food pyramid. So I tried really hard to be healthy, eating a low-fat, high-carbohydrate diet with excessive exercise, counting calories, not really caring about nutrient density, hello Diet Coke. And you sort of can get away with a lot in your 20s, but in your 30s, things start to creep up on you. I'd also had quite a lot of acne as a kid and had taken very long courses of very strong antibiotics, which essentially trashed my gut. And this presented in my late 30s with this long list of debilitating, hideous symptoms that nobody could find an answer for. Like I went to the doctors and they said, look, there's nothing wrong with you. But there was a lot wrong with me. I couldn't sleep. I couldn't poo. I was completely riddled with depression and anxiety. And literally all I could concentrate on was like getting a load of washing done and what the hell was I going to cook for dinner that night? Because it was literally a case of survival. There wasn't any thriving going on at all. However, in a very kind of intuitive way, I decided that I thought gluten could be the problem. So I quit gluten and I didn't know what it was in and what it wasn't in. So I started asking around on Facebook, and it wasn't long before I was a couple of clicks away from paleo. So I essentially just cut out grains, seed oils, and sugar, and embraced meat and veg. Chilled out a bit on the exercise front. And this was, gosh, how long ago now? 2016, 2015, 2016. And the results were it was literally night and day. A very disgusting detox occurred. But once I was through that, I literally felt like somebody had lifted this veil. And I've probably been gluten intolerant all of my life. There's actually a picture, I'm going to have to get my mum to dig it out, of me eating a crust, like the first time I ate a crust as a kid and pulling a face. I should have listened to that. But anyway, because I'd had a history of helping people in gyms, so my history was working as a personal trainer, group fitness instructor, one-on-one. Women would come to me and tell me what their health and fitness goals were, and I'd design a program for them. And that included telling them what to eat. And I was like, oh my God, I need to go and remedy what I've said. So I qualified as a primal health coach to help other people get their health back on track. Because people were stopping me in the street and saying, what have you done? You look 10 years younger. And I've been suffering with nausea as well. I've been on anti-nausea tablets from the doctor for 5 years. What have you done to get rid of the nausea? So I just wanted to really get out and help other people. And I think that when you're in a health crisis, you really have to focus on you, because you need to get better first. But once you start to feel better, it's like this natural human behavior to want to go and help other people. Do you agree? It's like a self-transcendence point. So I started health coaching, and my client said, OMGH, what the hell? So they felt so much better. It was so much fun. Like, we'd run these 21-day challenges, and people would be like killing it Monday to Thursday. And then Friday, they were just so bored of making everything from scratch, sucking their nuts, and making friends with their farmer, and, you know, getting grass fed and spray free and all of this, that they're just like, oh, I just need a break from all of this. They'd end up ordering a pizza, drinking a bottle of wine, finishing off the ice cream in the freezer and the Tim Tams, and then they'd just feel like they'd failed, and that they were like falling off the wagon, was the phrase that I heard all the time. So I realized that making everything from scratch is hard, and I realized that making dietary changes is difficult. And you can't just, there's nothing for us to eat when we go out, you know, you can't just grab something, you have to take something with you, like I did at the footy with the granola, because there's nothing out there just to grab and go. And people were feeling really overwhelmed with this. So I said, well, look, I've been making some food for my family, because Mike said to me, we're not going paleo without cookies, right? So I just tweaked our family favorite cookie recipe, like swapped out the margarine for organic butter, swapped out the melts for 70% dark cacao chopped chips, swapped out the self-raising flour for almond meal, swapped out the white sugar for coconut sugar. And the results were amazing. Like, we still, to this day, how many years are we on now? 9, 10 years. We still have a batch of cookies in a jar every week for the boys to smash. And Millie, she had a couple with a cup of tea last night. And what I found was that part of the business really took off. So people wanted, yes, they knew what to do, but they wanted some fast track ways to just make life easy, to make it deprivation free, and yeah, make it easier for them. So that is how it all came about. So now I'm going to take you to a video from Helen from the past in Studio 2, and she's going to talk you through how the Primalista license works. Go. With the Primalista license, you're going to get the recipes and resources to create a business that works for you and your lifestyle by producing and selling the Primal Alternative range under the Primal Alternative trademark brand. The license gets you from A to B quicker than if you started a brand from scratch, because the product development, branding, packaging, marketing, pricing, and compliance are all done, which means you can get started in your business, baking and earning money within 2 to 8 weeks. The Primalista license is a proven model with a simple to follow system that's been replicated over the last 5 years by over 220 Primalistas in 4 different countries. This just means there's more chance of your business being successful too. I'll tell you about a few of the tools available to make your business a success. You'll get the suppliers to get your labels, ingredients, and bags at the best price possible. And also our food safety program and letter templates for your food business registration. And if the thought of applying for a food business registration with council makes you feel all scared, and you're so certain your council's worse and your old kitchen won't pass, then congratulations, you're normal. But this document is going to show your environmental health officer everything that they are looking for in terms of our method, all of our lab tests to prove that our products are low risk, not potentially hazardous, therefore we can make them from a domestic kitchen. And it's also going to give you an idea of what council's looking for and arm you with the good food safety and food handling skills that you'll need to know to get approved and be a legit food business operator. You'll get easy to follow recipes and how-to videos, all designed for your domestic kitchen. And whether you've got a 600 or a 900 oven, you'll be able to fit 12 loaves of bread in at once. You'll get products that we know sell and meet the paleo, low carb, and vegan market demands. Your business will be advertised on the Primal Alternative website so customers can find you and place orders. You'll get, I also wanted to tell you about the online shop. So we have an online shop, and as a Primalista, you'll be offered the orders that come from the customers closest to you. And if it fits in with your bake, you can do it, but you can also turn them down and pass them on to another Primalista. You're going to get marketing materials. So this is on our resources page in the resource bank. Head down to marketing templates, and you're going to find things in here like flyers, business cards, online order postcards, and banners for your farmers markets. We've also got really awesome customer and stockist brochures, not featured here, but they are on there. You're also going to get over 500 professional photos, quote cards, and customer reviews to share online. So here's some of our pictures of our packet mixes and our pancakes. And over to our social media tiles, you'll see Primal Alternative helps me buy. And you've got like, if you don't know what to post on social media, here's some ideas. This will keep you going for a year, right? And what that's going to be doing is just really enhancing the like, know, and trust of your brand so that you can get more sales. Are you feeling a little bit terrified and excited about starting a business? If so, that's a good sign. And I call it Ter-excitified. It just means you're doing something that aligns with your values, but it's new, so it's scary. And that's why in the resources, you'll find tools to help take your mindset next level, because starting a business is a wonderful opportunity for personal growth, learning new skills, and having new experiences and contributing in a new way. You're also going to get support with our super collaborative community who get it in our Primalista Facebook group. So there we go. So in summary, you'll be joining a well-established business with the support that you need so that you'll have more predictability in your business, more time, more money, less stress, and less risk. So the next step is to book your free. Yes, we know. We've already said that, H. We're going to book a call, and it's so cool. I can see some of you booking calls and you coming through into my diary. That's so good. So don't forget that link. It's in the chat group, primalalternative.com/call, because the Primalista license isn't just like a click to cart option, okay? Everybody that comes on board, it has basically an interview. We call it a Primalista call, but it's essentially an interview where we make sure that we know what you're looking to do, and we'll let you know if the Primalista license can help and if you're a good fit for Primal Alternative. And everybody has that. It's always by like an application and interview. Yeah, that's the only way that you can get on board with the license. So now one of the questions I get asked quite often is, are the recipes easy? So let's have a look at some cooking. It's exciting, isn't it? So these are the videos that are actually part of the resources page. So you get how-to videos from me in my kitchen to you in your kitchen. And these have just been edited down to be more short, and also obviously not sharing the recipe. Let's make the quirky cooking macadamia and currant shortbread. So I'm starting off by blitzing the macadamias. So pop those to the side. I'm going in with the tapioca flour and the almond meal, the coconut sugar, and then our organic butter. So I'm going to mix this for 10 seconds. And then I'm going to add in the macadamias and the currant, just popping in the rose water. So just getting a small portion, zeroing the scales and trying to guess magic 30. So you want to create a little ball with your hands, like so, and then just gently push down like that. That's your cookie.
These smell so good. And then you're going to take them 3 at a time. This is a special technique. And then going in with the other 3. And then we're just going to squeeze the air out of the bag, twist the top of the bag, and then for the highly satisfying, pop in your label in the center. Voila. Let's make pizza bases. So I'm going in first of all with the cashew nut milk. Then I'm going in with my eggs. Then I am going to add the grain-free baking powder. And now in with the salt. Don't forget the coconut oil. So I'm just going to take that off the Thermomix and just scrape down the sides of the bowl. And just going to mix again, speed 5, 30 seconds. And then you're going to take your pizza tray and pop it onto the scales. So once you've measured it, I like to take it off the scales and then just spread it around using your spatula. So the pizzas are all done. So again, we want to take them off the trays straight away. And we're going to put them in the bag like this. And again, one last cuddle, squeeze in the air out of the bag. And put the label in the center. And there you go.
And there you go. So hopefully you're getting to get a bit of a feel now for who we are, what some of the resources look like. But what about some of the startup costs? All right, let's get straight into it. You might want to take a couple of screenshots of this. It's also on the FAQ page, but a couple of really straightforward things are your food business registrations. That's about $500 depending on your council. So I've seen that vary from $25 to $1,200, but it usually sits somewhere around the 500 mark. You're also going to need product and public liability insurance, which is about $50 a month. You're going to need something to process or mix with. So as you can see, I was using a Thermomix. I'm a big Thermomix fan. Let me know, have you got a Thermomix? And it's a great excuse to buy a Thermomix or upgrade on business expenses, but you don't need one. You just need something that's got a minimum 2-litre capacity bowl. So if I was starting off again and buying equipment, I'd probably get a KitchenAid. You're going to need some tins, trays, cooling racks, insect nets. The rest you can see yourself, but the main things are you're going to need your insurance, council, and your first lot of ingredients. Now, when Primalistas hang up their apron, which I'll talk about as well in a bit, you will be able to sell on your equipment that you've bought to other Primalistas. So essentially, it's got a very, oh, Christina's drawing on my screen. How did you manage that? How did that happen? That's funny. So it's a very lean startup, and I'm always banging on about having a lean startup because the sooner that you can get up and running, it's a very sort of like perfectionism can take over here. I need to have this, I need to have that, I need to upgrade my kitchen. No, you don't. You are enough. You have enough. This is a domestic business model that has been designed for a home kitchen. And Primalista Amy said, having only started not quite 2 months ago, I've been blown away with how instant the cash flow was. So it's a very quick and lean startup if you want to start off like that. So would you like to hear from some real life Primalistas? Sure you would. Primalista Gita. So Primalista Gita is in our virtual open week Facebook group. So if you want to ask questions in the group, we've got Gita, Primalista Amanda, Primalista Ash, Primalista Rosie. So don't just think, oh, just have to ask H everything. You can ask questions to real life Primalistas. But remember, we only have this week together. We've just got this pop-up week. So don't hold back or wait till you've caught up on all the videos before you ask your questions. Get in and get them asked. So Geeta said, I knew I wanted to do something food related, but was not quite sure what or how, as I had no experience in that industry until one day I came across a post in my Instagram feed about the Primal alternative business opportunity. It just felt right. And I contacted Helen from me immediately and had my interview sitting in my car in a car park with support from my family. I signed up and I feel it's the best decision I've ever made. So Geeta's been a Primalista for 5 years. And let's get into some number crunching. Me and Rosie love to crunch the numbers. So we've got some very specific numbers here. So Rosie's in her 5th year. Her business has been turning over $75,000 for the last 3 years. I don't know what she did before that, but I remember when she hit the GST threshold and we all celebrated. And her profit on that is $40,800. So it's a 55% gross profit margin, which is fantastic. So in terms of her return on investment, it's 115% annualized. So very good. She bakes 3.5 days a week and has 6 weeks annual leave. Let's hear from Rosie.
I don't know if this is just me, but I really appreciate the fact that I'm at home and I am able to sort of combine my housework and my baking sort of into one. I always think that, you know, if I was going out to work, if I was going, you know, to a job somewhere, I would have to come home to a messy house. Whereas here, I bake, then I quickly vacuum and, you know, tidy up the sink and clean the dishes, and then I'm finished, and you know, the house is clean, and that's great. The other thing is, you know, you can, if you're managing a household, you can also just, you know, put a load of washing on here and there. You know, have lunch when you want to. Hang the washing out, bring it in. You know, you can combine all those activities. Yeah, I also get to, you know, it's also really good that you can start work, you know, at a time that suits you. Some people prefer to bake in the evening. I personally prefer to bake sort of morning time and have it done by, by the time school's finished. You know, I can get up. I don't ever have to set my alarm pretty much. Occasionally I will if I want to get a head start. Other than the markets, of course, I do have to set my alarm for that.
Oh, hang on. It's live, right? It's live. Just on Rosie's numbers, I can't get back there for some reason. Can I? No. Can I? Yeah. I just want to look at these numbers again, right? Because there's something in us that says, oh, you can't stay at home and bake cookies for a living. Like, get out and get a real job. That's just a hobby. It's not really going to work. You're not really going to make any money doing it. But look at this. I mean, it's just absolutely fantastic. And it's credit to Rosie, you know, it's a business model, but she has to make it work. You know, she has to actually apply the model. You don't just get the license and then money comes. You know, you have to go out and approach stockists. You have to bake the products. You have to keep showing up to the markets every week. But once you're there, and it's fantastic. She's not growing her business anymore. She's just maintaining it and has found it to be really resilient during COVID. So, and all the other things going on in the world, still really, really, what's the best word to describe it? I don't want to say bulletproof because you don't want to jinx anything, but very reliable. And just interestingly, Mike the Chippy, my husband, he won't mind me sharing these numbers, but his business turned over just under 70,000. He is a carpenter, so he's qualified tradie. He works every day. He leaves the house at 8 o'clock. He gets back at 6 o'clock at night. And his gross profit return is about 36,000. So that's less than a Primalista. He's a tradie. So I just find that very fascinating. Do you know what I mean? Right, we get past that one. Phew. All right. So let's talk about Primalista Shah. Now, I'm using Shah as an example here because she's on a baking break, right? And I think that's a wonderful feature of this license, because who knows what's around the corner. And when we are open and expansive and always learning as you are, who knows what amazing opportunities around the corner that you might want to take up. So Shah is currently back at uni. She's decided to do her master's. So as a Primalista, once your license fee is paid off, you can go on a baking break for up to 18 months. And instead of paying $120 a month monthly membership, you just pay $17.50. And that basically preserves your accesses, preserves your pin on the Primalista page, and it means you can come back to baking if you want to. How good's that? So, it might be because of some unexpected health issue or something to do with family, or you want to go traveling, or you want to do something else, and you can, which is great, right? Because sometimes when we're thinking about making decisions like this, we think like from now until I'm 75, right? But really, yes, I do have Primalistas they're in their 6th year. They've been with me right from day one, but most Primalistas are here for 2 to 3 years. They come in, they get their own business going, and then they move on to the next amazing thing that they're going to do. So when you're thinking about this opportunity, think 2 to 3 years. It's less pressure on yourself in terms of making big decisions for the rest of your life. What could you learn? What doors could open? What opportunities, growth, and experience could you have in the next 2 to 3 years, right? So from her first year, her business was turning over $45,000 a year in her first year. And she was baking 2 days a week and working school hours and having school holidays off.
It will fluctuate, but I think once you start forming relationships with a couple of good stockists, and really, when I first started, I thought I would need 5 or 7 or 10 stockists, but I've got 2, and they keep me plenty busy to do 2.5 to 3 days a week if you take into consideration the admin that goes along with running a business yourself and the deliveries, etc. But yeah, I think you start to build a good relationship with your suppliers, and it just becomes a repetitive business. So I've got a supplier who's incredible. It's an online organic farmers market that they don't just purchase or order the products from me. They market the hell out of my product and out of me, and they'll showcase stuff about me or about the products, and they'll, like, I think my first order with them in the first week was 100 different products. So I think building that relationship with people and with other groups, especially in businesses where it's about developing women and women working together, that will translate into the income that you're looking to get. So just from the stockist on 1 day work a week, I basically earn more than what I ever did working in the corporate environment in 1 day. So if you took a day by day comparison, yeah. So
how cool is that? So Shah was earning more as a Primalista than she did. Sorry, Shah, shush now. She was earning more in 1 day as a Primalista than she was as 1 day in the corporate world. How good is that? And you know what? I had a recent conversation with an amazing woman in Western Australia who is a high level executive. Like she described her salary as obscene. And we really took a deep dive on that call into what having that career has cost her in terms of her health, relationships, quality of life, lifestyle. With the corporate careers, it's always at what cost, right? It definitely wasn't my cup of tea, didn't benefit me in a healthy way. And there's a lot of cost involved with a corporate career in terms of, commuting and fuel costs and buying your lunch out every day and buying all of the suits you need to wear and dry cleaning them and not being home in time to cook dinner. So ordering Uber Eats, and then having to have, counseling and chiropractic and massages and all these things just to kind of, you get the point. So let's talk about Primalista Chicken in Western Australia. So that's Chicken there in the back. Her real name's Charmaine. chicken chow mein. See, that's why, and she loves it. Her brother called her that, so she likes it. She's a cracker, love chicken. And she's in her 6th year. She bakes every 2 to 3 weeks. She works full time. She's a very high level executive with an insurance firm in Western Australia. She actually sorts out most Primalistas insurance. So if the idea of trolling around for insurance makes you think, oh, I can't face doing this, don't worry, just get chicken onto it. She does my insurance as well. And she doesn't need the money. She doesn't have kids. She's not doing this to get out of corporate. She loves her job, but she wants to contribute in a healthy way. She loves being part of the sisterhood. We've been on so many interstate trips and gone to all the cool events together. And so all she does on her Facebook group, she's been doing this for 6 years. So definitely consistency is key. But all she does is post on her personal Facebook page and say, hi guys, it's that time again. I'm baking. What do you want? And she gets $1,000 of orders. She comes home from work on a Friday, pours herself a glass of wine, cranks the music up, and she bakes. How nice is that? So in this picture, we've got Primalista Terry Allen in Victoria, or Tegs, as I like to call her. Terry is a retired professor from the University of Monash, loves to go traveling, does a lot of farmers markets, and doesn't have any stockists because she's always off traveling. She'd just come back from diving in the Philippines. Chicken, you know about, that's me, and that's Primalista Geeta, who I told you about before. And this is a picture from 2019's Wellness Summit. Oh, let's watch this cool little video I did about chicken. Just to give you a snapshot of some of the fun we've had over the last few years. All right, so now let's talk about Primalista Ash. So she's part of the virtual open week. She's also one of the Primalistas you can book a call with. Ash is in her 2nd year. Her business is turning over 54,000 and she bakes 3 days a week. Let's hear from Ash.
I was sort of in a place where I just really felt like I wanted to do something for myself. And that involved obviously good food and working around my kids and my lifestyle. So basically I was just looking for something that sort of ticked all those boxes. And I had been a serial stalker of Primal Alternative. And I just kept going back to it. So just realized that I could work from home, could work around the kids' schedules, bake at night if needed, and obviously the food aspect as well, just being able to provide good, wholesome food for people. So that's what I wanted to do, really. Yeah.
My health journey, my health journey started about.
Oh, I didn't realize Geeta was tagged on the end of there. Oh, okay. Sorry, Geeta. But Geeta, if you want to watch that, it is on if you go to primalalternative.com/replay, there's some recent info sessions, and the Primalista panel is on there as well from the last open week that we did the start of the year. So let's talk about side hustles and streams of income in this phase of a big uncertainty, right? So Forbes magazine says that a side hustle is more than just another stream of income. It's also the new job security. And I think that if COVID has taught us anything, it's that one is a dangerous number. So, people were affected by mandates and businesses closed, various different things, different reasons. But if your job was your only stream of income, or worse, you didn't work and your husband was the only stream of income in his work, it's just too dangerous. One is a dangerous number in any kind of strategy for protection for the future. So having a side hustle, or, whether you want to do it as a side hustle or a hobby that pays, as Chicken describes it, or you want to make it more of like a full-time gig, it's a really good opportunity to do something that you are already doing from your home. A lot of people I talk to, they say, I wanted to own a cafe. I've looked into buying businesses like that, but there's a lot of overheads in that. And so equals a lot more risk. Whereas this is a very, yes, it is a significant amount of cash to get involved. I'm going to talk about that more in a minute. But in terms of, starting a business, getting into the health industry, it's really low cost and low risk, which is so cool. To give you that little bit more of security. So what does a successful business mean to you? Nobody gets to say this is successful, right? You get to decide what's successful for you, which is why we spent so much time yesterday going through your big, amazing why and that amazing vision and that lifestyle that you're moving towards. Because nobody gets to say what works for you and what doesn't. And if you don't determine what success means to you, somebody else will. Somebody else will tell you what it is. So make sure you're always asking yourself really good questions, and because it changes all the time. And you might start off like I did. Oh, yes, I think I should want these things. And then as you peel it back, you think, actually, I don't want to go on holiday. I like staying at home. And I just really like pottering around the house. I know that I feel like some feminists might bash me on the head for saying that. I actually just really like doing that. So what does it mean to you? Does it mean to get paid to do something you love every day? Be your own boss, choose your own hours, decide on when to take a break, and never miss a social commitment or important family member moment because of work. Never. You never have to ask anybody anything. Bloody brilliant. That's what I like. So how much could you earn? As I said to you before, I like to just put everything out there. I'm really open and honest, transparent, all of those things. I just want to say, look, here it is. I don't want you to come in on the inside and have a nasty surprise. I want you to come in on the inside and be like, this is amazing. These people are incredible. My business is amazing. I love it. That's what I want you to do. So here's our profit margins, full disclosure. So our cost to produce is about 30% of the retail price. And that includes the ingredients, label, and bag. So we don't factor in conversion costs, which would be, your time to deliver it, your cost of electricity to get your oven running, none of those things, because it's too variable. So that's something for you to consider. But what most Primalistas tell me is that there isn't any big significant increase in their electricity consumption, because the main cost of electricity when you run your oven is turning it on. But when you're just keeping it on for a long period of time, it doesn't actually cost that much to keep it running, if that makes sense. And then in terms of like delivering products and stuff, I always recommend to do that on routes that you're already doing. So, maybe your husband's going into the next town once a fortnight. He can deliver stuff for you. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay. So that's the ways that you can keep it really lean so that your gross profit margin is much higher. So when we're selling at our wholesale price, sorry, I'm very excited, at our wholesale price. So this little beige part of the pie, that goes to the shop, right? That's selling it for you. And then this is when you sell it directly to the end customer. So Primalistas have usually got a mixture of wholesale and retail sales. And on average, our gross profit is about 55%, as you saw in Rosie's example as well. So here are the numbers for the cookies. As you can see, it's very similar pieces of the pie, because this is the costing model that I work on. And I've consulted with a couple of costing specialists over the years, and these are good. These are good costing. So usually in food, the margins wouldn't be as good, but we don't have big overheads, which is fantastic. So, okay, well, that's all very well, Helen, pie charts, and she earns this and that and that, but how much do I have to actually bake to earn a certain amount of money? So when I started doing this, I was baking 2 days a week, and I was making about this much product. Not the same, not nice round numbers, 3 of this, 5 of that, 10 of that, but this is a good kind of infographic for you, right? So this would take me 2 mornings a week to produce. So it would about, let's say, 10 hours. So 2 mornings, really, I think 4 to 5 hours standing on your feet in the kitchen with the oven on is enough. But there are Primalistas who do longer than that, and they just want to do 8 hours, and they get all of this done during that period of time. So it's up to you. But do remember that turning on the oven 5 days a week for 1 hour baking is not streamlined. It's not efficient. It'll take you way longer. It'll cost you more. So I recommend starting with 1 set bake day where you say, yeah, thanks for your order. I'm baking on Monday. And then once that day gets busy, then you could add another day, but you get more into that flow state. You get into the streamlined way of just smashing them out. So this would cost about $1,200 for people to buy from you. And from that, you would make you make exactly $655.30 as a Primalista. Now, one of the amazing tools we have as part of the Primalista resources is our costing spreadsheet. So you don't have to do this, like all the costing's being worked out, but if you want to crunch the numbers when you come on the inside, you can add in all of your different ingredients, cost to produce, and it will tell you triple choc keto cookies cost you this much to produce. So you will get your exact gross profit. How cool is that? So let's talk about the Primalista membership, the bonuses, and the 7-day cooling off guarantee. So there's $1,000 joining fee, and then you can either pay your Primalista license up front for $5,500 and save $500, or you can pay on a payment plan of $620 a month for the first 12 months, and then it's just $120 a month after that. So to break it down even further, it's just $20 a day for the first year, and then it's just $4 a day after that. And for that, you'll get your Primalista license. And so that's basically access to the recipes and resources and all the tools you need to start your business. And also currently $1,700 worth of bonuses, including the baking starter kit, and $1,000 of digital bonuses, including my signature health coaching courses, Thrive and Set for Life, my business blueprint, which I showed you before, and an EFT tapping course, which basically goes through unblocking all of the upper limits and blocks that are common for everyone starting a business. Because if you're looking for personal growth, start a business. It's all there. So let me talk you through what's in the baking starter kit. Now, I think this is fantastic because when you're starting your business, these things will just land on your doorstep after the 7-day cooling off period. So you'll get 220 personalized labels for your first few bakes, organic fair trade Primal alternative apron with your name and state on it, 6 Primal alternative bread tins, a one-on-one coaching session to have with me whenever you want. And I want you to use that. Don't just put that in there for like, oh, worst case scenario, like that's there to be cashed in, because I guarantee that a session with me will really boost your confidence, give you a lot more clarity on where you want to go. Even just the little things, even just having somebody to talk it all through with is awesome. And also 200 compostable cellophane bags. How good's that? Now, I am so excited, and behind the scenes, I've been recording sessions for this, putting it together, speaking to the mentor Primalistas that are going to be part of this. But the PMP, or the Primalista Mentor Program, it starts on September the 14th. So I want you to book your Primalista call now, because we have limited times available. And I know that all of these times are going to get booked up because people are looking for that extra hand holding. This is a bit like a mastermind where we're going to basically take you off into a little container with other Primalistas who are starting the journey, because it can, like the Primalista Sisterhood and the Facebook group's amazing, but it can feel quite daunting to be in a group with 120 other Primalistas and you feel like the questions you're asking are really stupid, or you don't know how to use the search bar, and you just want to have that extra hand holding. So that's what the program is. So we'll be going off into a separate Facebook group. It's a 6-week program with 3 practical lessons around getting open for business, getting equipped, and making sales. And then in between those 3 practical lessons, there will be 3 group training sessions where we meet on Zoom, except we all get to talk to each other. It's not just me going blah, blah, blah to you. We all get to talk, and we'll be talking about the practical things that are coming up. Maybe it's something to do with your council application, or you can't quite work out how to do the triple chocolate keto cookies, or it might be more stuff around mindset that you can become aware of and help to work through. This is gold. I can't give you the actual true price or value because I've never charged for it. But I would say that this would be, the value of this would be around $4,000. In the past, I have had a gold membership. I used to have gold, silver, and bronze membership levels, and the gold membership was $10,000, and it included one-on-one coaching like this, but not with other Primalistas. It was more just with me. And personally, I think that being on board with experienced Primalistas who've done this, that's the only difference between you and them. They've already done it, and they're going to be there and help you get to where you want to go to. So how good's that? Are you excited about the PMP? Let me know in the chat, because I am really excited about it. So for peace of mind, there's a 7-day cooling off guarantee. So that basically means when you join, you have a full 7 days you get access to the recipes and resources within 24 hours of requesting access, usually much less than that, but it's just if I'm out and I can't do it manually. And then you get a chance to look at all the recipes, check out all the resources, and start setting up your business. And if at any point during those first 7 days you think, look, it's just not for me, just let me know. We'll give you a full refund, and that's it. How good's that? So what about hanging up your apron? So this, with the Primalista license, there's no time lock-in. It's not like a year-to-year contract. And you can hang up your apron just by giving me 7 days notice. Now, what about what fees are involved in this? So if you do hang up your apron, let's say after 6 months, which most people don't, like I said to you before, most people stick around for 2 to 3 years. And we have a very high percentage of people who join and actually achieve their goals and start their business. But if there is any fees outstanding on your Primalista license component of your membership, that becomes due and payable when you hang up your apron. So if you go with the upfront payment, no worries. You've already paid your license fee off. You just give 7 days notice. That's it. If you're on the payment plan and say you hang up your apron after 6 months, you'll need to pay the 6-month component of the rest of the payment plan. Does that make sense? So in the payment plan, it's $620 a month. $500 is for your license. $120 is your Primalista membership. So any questions on that, just let me know. So let's hear from Primalista Carolyn in Queensland. She said, I've loved my time as a Primalista and learned many new skills and discovered some wonderful attributes I was previously unaware of. So these are just emails I get when people tell me that they're hanging up their apron. And Primalista Tanya says, I've grown and learned so much during my 3.5 years as a Primalista. The community has been one of the warmest, most helpful and supportive spaces, and I've absolutely loved being part of it. So I'm never sad when a Primalista leaves, because I know that she's had an incredible experience of growth and contribution, and she's had some real life learning on the job versus buying a course. Like you could do a business or a health course, but then you have to come out and then start your brand. Think of your point of difference, figure out your pricing, your fonts, your logos, all the stuff that's so easy to get tangled up in perfectionism and procrastination and never happen, right? And like I say, you only need to give 7 days notice. It's so easy. So after hearing about, sorry, I know I've gone slightly over today, but I'm just pumped, and I'm in love with this virtual open week. I'm in love with you for being here. So after hearing about what's available with the Primalista license and seeing how this could get you closer to what you want to do, have you got any other questions or concerns that I haven't covered? Because this is the final chance. I'm about to wrap up. I'm about to give away that wonderful door prize. So hang around for that. And this is your final chance to ask your questions in the chat. While you're doing that, I'm going to show you the results of a Primalista survey, which may answer quite a lot of the questions you may have. Let's go. And we can rock out to this too. Do some dancing. Yeah, you can tell I used to be an aerobics instructor, right? Putting everything to music. All right, we don't want to watch it again though. Goodness me. All right, 1 question. So that's good. So I guess, I mean, I've been doing these for a while now, so I pretty much know the usual questions, but I've never had this question before. Julianne, thank you. Do many people not meet the criteria for the business when you meet up with them? No, to be honest, because, you know, they've read my ebook, they've watched the webinar, they know what it's about, they've answered the questions on the form. You know, we have quite a good way of letting everybody know about this and what's involved before they come through for a call. So usually the only people that we would say no to would be people who did not have a clue about how this worked, and they were, you know, maybe going to think that they're just going to bake and then we'd give them orders, and they, you know, like they didn't quite get the concept of it. That would be the majority of the people that we say, yeah, no, sorry, this isn't going to help you with what you're looking to do, and you're not a good fit for Primal Alternative. So yeah, so hopefully that answers your question. Another question has popped up. Is there a cap on the number of Primalistas in my area? This is a good question, Kirsty. No, there isn't. There's no territory with Primal Alternative. So that sounds like, oh, I want territory. But territory is it's a man-made patriarchal structure, right? And first of all, how would you divide up Australia? Oh my goodness, would that be my job? I don't know how to do that. And what about if, you know, like for Primalista Chicken, she's in Mandurah. What if we said, right, so 50-kilometer radius of Mandurah, you have to do all the orders that come in. But then she's like, well, I only want to bake once every 3 weeks. So we don't have territory, because it means that Primalistas can't design a business that works for them. However, no Primalistas want to step on anyone's toes. This is where the sisterhood comes in. Nobody wants to step on anyone's toes, right? And the things that I've put in place to make sure that doesn't happen is that, 1, we all charge the same price, so there's no undercutting. And 2, new Primalistas coming in need to have new places where they're going to approach. So new Primalistas coming in can't approach existing stockists or markets, not that you'd want to anyway, right? So that's why on the Primalista call, a key segment of that is we will be asking you, who would you love as your customer? And we will go through and check on our stockist page. And we'll also check, we have an internal Google Doc. It's really easy to use, that everybody adds, you know, like, oh, I went to the health food shop today and I spoke to Bob, and he's going to be a stockist next week. So we can see, you know, make sure that if we have spoke to them before, if we are already stocking them, so we can say to a new Primalista coming in, oh, sorry, all the places you're thinking of approaching are gone. But that isn't the case, because we are so nowhere near saturation, right? If you think about one woman in one kitchen, how many people can she bake for? How many families can she bake for? Maybe 50 to 100. How many people live in your town? You know? So we very thoroughly look at that. The only time I've had to say to somebody, I'm sorry, you're lovely, but you don't meet the criteria, is this one girl. She lives like in some kind of like remote place in WA, and all there was in the town was just like the servo. And it was a really kind of like, it wasn't like a Byron Bay place, you know, it was like a redneck kind of, and I was like, yeah, I don't think there's going to be a market there for you. Does that answer your question, Kirsty? I hope that's answered your question. So please go ahead, if you haven't already, and book your Primalista call now, primalalternative.com/call. Call times are limited and they're booking up because of the Primalista Mentor program that's starting on September the 14th. So on the call, we will be getting really clear on what you want to do. We'll let you know if the license can help and if you're a good fit for Primal Alternative. And we'll share with you how you could save an extra $1,000, which I haven't revealed here, but you might want to get on a call and find out how you can do that. We'll obviously answer any of your questions that maybe you didn't want to ask today. And if it's a good fit, we'll offer you the opportunity to join us. Now is the time. It's only a couple of weeks away, 3 weeks, I think, before the PMP starts on September the 14th. So get in. Look, to be honest, this offer with the PMP in it It's never been like, it's amazing. And I'm just a little business. Every month I sit down, I have a money date with my business, and I look at, right, can we still keep sending out all these tins and aprons and bags and labels and keep offering this discount on something that is already a low cost item? Okay. So I don't know how long this price is going to be around for, or these bonuses, or if we'll ever run another PMP. I just don't know. So now is a really good time. We can take you by the hand, walk you through, start up your own business at your own pace, and hopefully have you launched and at the spring, summer markets. Such a wonderful time to get into. Everyone's coming out of their woolly jumpers and their jeans now and thinking, oh, it's time to get on the health wagon again. So it's always a really busy time of the year, between Christmas and Easter. All right. Ooh. It's a yummy prize winner time. So first of all, thank you so much. I know a couple of people have had to leave because I've sort of gone on 20 minutes longer than intended. I'm so sorry about that, but hopefully you've found it valuable. So I'm going to pick one lucky winner really randomly, and it's Julie Ann Olson. You are my yummy prize winner. So could you please send me an email, info@primalalternative.com, and with your address and your telephone number, so a Primalista can get in touch to organize delivery, and we'll be sending you some Primal Alternative goodies. Thank you so much for being here today. I can't wait to see your name pop up in the diary, and I will see you in the Facebook group. Thanks for being here. Bye.